Lygre winning this ball. Now plays it out front. The deflection of Danger will get the dunk at the buzzer for the 8th time in school history. A Maple Girls softball team is going to state.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam. I'm John Jacobson.
I'm Jay Wilcox. We're getting to crunch time in fall sports. Today on the show, highlights from the final regular season games and a look ahead to the playoffs in prep football.
In our Sports Jam Spotlight, we catch up with a former Armstrong football star who is in his final season excelling as a linebacker for the unbeaten Gophers.
And we'll get started with section finals in soccer. After shutout wins in the first 2 rounds of the Section 8AA tournament, the Maple Grove boys hit the road for the finals. They traveled to face Brainerd. First half penalty kick for Brainerd. Nick Whiteman buries it and the Warriors lead 1-0. In the second half, though, freshman Chris Franz serves up a corner kick for Maple Grove. Caleb Robinson heads it in. The game is tied at 1. Late in the second half, Will Zaver penetrates the Brainerd defense and puts a shot on. Maxwell Barty chips in the rebound. That's the game winner as the Crimson go to state for the second time in 3 years with a 2-1 win. Maple Grove was not seeded for the state tournament and they got a tough draw. They'll meet top seed Edina in the quarterfinals at 5:30 Wednesday at St. Cloud State University.
The playoffs really do present a second chance for teams that didn't do as well as they had hoped in the regular season. The Hopkins boys scored 2 upsets to reach the Section 6AA final, where they faced top seed Minneapolis Washburn. The Millers generate some chances early. Jameson Charles, low shot from close range. Jonas Swan, sure-handed, makes the save for the Royals to keep it scoreless. Charles finds William Collins for an even better opportunity, but again, Swan is equal to the challenge. The game stayed 0-0 through the first half. But Washburn breaks through in the second half. Charles gets the ball to Darley Floorville, and he finds the back of the net with a shot. Hopkins falls to Washburn 1-0.
In Class A, rivals Breck and Blake met up for the Section 5 championship in a contentious game. Breck hoping to duplicate a regular season win over the Bears. Blake strikes first. A great through ball by Jake Shapiro springs Will Mortensen, and he slides it past Gunnar Evanstead. Blake goes up 1-0. Just after a corner kick, though, Ralph Smith crosses it, and Parker Sargent's header as the keeper caught out of the net. Breck's outplayed in the first half, but they go into halftime tied at 1. Then things get a little strange in half number 2. Blake gets a penalty kick early in the second, but Evanstead stops Keegan James, and the rebound is off the crossbar. Blake, though, gets another penalty kick a minute 20 later. Jackson Lagos puts it away, and the Bears are back in front 2-1. And they get a third penalty kick of the second half. Lagos makes it count again for a 3-1 Blake lead. Breck makes it interesting late on a goal by David Gorman off the header with a minute 50 to play. But it's Blake's night. They celebrate a section championship with a 3-2 win.
The Maple Grove girls scored the only goal late in regulation in their Section 8AA semifinal win over Moorhead. The championship was another nail-biter. Crimson faced St. Michael Albertville in the section final. No scoring in regulation or overtime, so this match goes to a shootout. Jordan Pauly scores a big Maple Grove goal late in the shootout. And then goalie Sarah Cortez, a diving save to give the Crimson a chance to end it. And senior Lauren Bredensteiner does just that, going high to the Knights net with her shot. Maple Grove wins the shootout 4-3. They are headed back to state for a 3rd straight season.
We've worked so hard this year, and I'm so proud of my team for working hard and pulling through. We have confidence in each other, and our chemistry works us all in the end.
It feels great. I'm so happy to be going back for the 3rd year in a row, and I know we're going to do great.
Maple Grove is the number 5 seed for the AA tournament. They face 4th seed Minnetonka in the quarterfinals at 7:30 Tuesday night at North St. Paul High School. The Champlin Park girls entered the playoffs with an undefeated record. They were shooting for their first ever section title. Top-ranked Champlin Park at home against Roseville in the 5AA final. Late first half, Rebels Megan Carlson denied of a goal because of a great save by Raiders goalie Bella DiGiorno. No score in the match at halftime. In fact, there's no score until the final 2 minutes of regulation. Bailey Mathis crosses the ball to Carlson, who scores on her second try here. That's the only goal of the night. Carlson's 14th goal of the year since the Rebels to the state tournament for the first time in the program's 28th season history.
I saw Maylee coming down the right side and she just crossed it over and there it was.
It was kind of frustrating because usually we can get it like in their half and score goals easy, but they kind of did a good job at like keeping the line high and we got a lot of offsides, so it was kind of frustrating. But at the end, I think we kind of figured it out.
The Rebels did get the top seed for the state tournament. They will play Stillwater in the quarterfinals Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. at North St. Paul. The semifinals are next Monday at U.S. Bank Stadium.
In Section 5A girls, the championship was decided in dramatic fashion late. It's Blake and Benilde playing for the 5A title. First half, Allie Fine shot deflects off a Benilde defender to Carly Shoemate, and she buries it for a 1-0 Blake lead. The Red Knights answer. Sophomore Sydney Dries gets a little space and hits a beautiful shot. That ties it up at 1. In the second half, still 1-1. Shoemate's point-blank shot is knocked away by goalkeeper Olivia Olson. But Blake wins it late. Less than 20 seconds left. Kate Moe with the free kick in for the game winner. Blake goes to state for the second time in 3 years with a 2-1 victory. The state girls tennis tournament is this week with Wayzata in the Class AA team competition. Spots in the singles and doubles tournaments are up for grabs in Section 5AA. Nicole Schnesko of Armstrong against Zoe Adkins of Maple Grove in the singles final. Off Schnesko's serve, Adkins with a great return down the line, and it sets up a sharp forehand winner as Adkins takes the first set 6-2. To the second set, and deep ground strokes by Schnesko keep Adkins running, and Schnesko takes the point with a nice backhand volley here. But it's mostly Adkins' day. She does a great job getting to a ball in the corner, and then some great touch on a drop shot. After losing to Schnesko in last year's section final, Adkins wins 6-2, 6-3. Both players are headed on to state.
Yeah, it's amazing because last year I didn't win the section title. Nicole played really well. I played her again in the finals last year, and yeah, I lost. So it feels great to just be able to win this year.
The section playoffs in high school volleyball get underway this week. Section 5-3A is loaded with strong teams. Wayzata is the #1 seed. The Trojans bid to reach the state tournament for the first time in 9 years. St. Michael Albertville is seeded second. Defending state champion Champlin Park is seeded third, and Osseo is fourth. Maple Grove is the #5 seed. Rogers is 6th, and Buffalo is 7th. Park Center and Cooper are the 10th and 11th seeds. Park Center plays at Buffalo, and Cooper is at Rogers in first-round play on Tuesday. The quarterfinals are Thursday with Wayzata, STMA, Champlin Park, and Osseo all having home games. The semifinals are Tuesday the 29th, the home of the highest remaining seed, with a section final Halloween night at Osseo High School. In Section 6-3A, Bloomington Jefferson has earned the #1 seed. St. Louis Park is second. Benilde St. Margaret's is the 3 seed, and Hopkins 4th. Armstrong is seeded 6th. The quarterfinals are Thursday. Hopkins hosts Edina, while Armstrong plays at Benilde St. Margaret's. The semifinals are Tuesday the 29th. The section final slated for Saturday afternoon, November 2nd. There are 4 local teams in Section 5-2A. Tino Grace is seeded 3rd, and Providence Academy 4th.
Some of the state's best girls swimming and diving teams gathered for the True Team state meet over the weekend. Wayzata placed 2nd behind Minnetonka in the Class AA team competition. Edina is 3rd as Lake Conference teams sweep the top 3 spots. Maple Grove placed 9th. Wayzata's Melinda Zhang won the 100 butterfly, and Jenna Marquette the 100 breaststroke. And also Breck placed 6th in Class A. And John, regular section meets just a little over 2 weeks away.
That's right. Time for a break here. When Sports Jam continues, a look at the regular season finales and playoff seeding for local football teams.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. It's been a very strong year for football in the area this fall.
Yeah, a lot of our teams have played well through the regular season, which wrapped up last week. Maple Grove at home against Champlin Park. First play from scrimmage in the game, Crimson quarterback Nate Elms' pass over the middle, intercepted by DJ Miles. Miles with a nice return brings it back 36 yards down to the Crimson 13-yard line. And the Rebels immediately take advantage of the turnover. Next play, quarterback Jace Miller rolls out, hits Brock Johnson with a 13-yard touchdown pass. Champlin Park up 7-0. Leading 10-0 later in the first quarter, Miller play action pass. It's Johnson over the middle. It's another touchdown pass. This one from 19 yards out. The Rebels lead 17-0. But on the ensuing kickoff, Crimson sophomore Micah Veilley picks up the ball and gets some good blocks, and then he is down the sideline and gone 87 yards for a touchdown to get Maple Grove on the board, and it's 17-7 after one. Same score late in the second quarter. Rebels linebacker Devon Moore picks off a pass, and he takes this one all the way back. It's a 63-yard pick six for Moore to put Champlin Park ahead 24-7. They go on to win 31-15 and earn a #1 seed in the upcoming Class 6A playoffs. The Benilde St. Margaret's football team expected good things coming into the season, and they have delivered. The Red Knights looked to finish off an unbeaten regular season. Coach John Hanks and the Red Knights ready to face Wachovia. First quarter, after a muff punt by Benilde, Timothy Stapleton runs it in for a 6-0 Wachovia lead. The Wildcats defense stifles Benilde in the first half. Benjamin Christians and Alexander Bartley get the sack, and it's 9-0 at halftime. Third quarter, Benilde's Joe Marinaro takes the pitch, fights hard to get to the end zone. The Red Knights cut the lead to 9-7. Benilde takes the lead in the fourth quarter, and then Dylan Rash makes a great catch on the pass from Nick Peterson. The Red Knights are up 17-9. But Wachovia rallies. 12 seconds left. Jack Fritz, an amazing catch for the touchdown, and it's 17-15. And then Stapleton scoots in for two, sending the game to overtime. And the Red Knights win it on the touchdown run by William Petty. Benilde St. Margaret's finishes the season undefeated. At Hopkins, the Royals hosted Irondale. Watch this play here. The ball knocked down at the line of scrimmage and right to R.J. Shakolis for the interception. No score in the second quarter. That turnover, though, turns into points for Hopkins. Demetrius Patton runs it in from 6 yards out. Royals lead it 7-0. Later in the quarter, another short touchdown run for Hopkins. Ricky Dixon on the carry here, and the score. The Royals are up on the Knights 13-0. Back on offense again before halftime. Quarterback Noah Kim looks left, then moves right and lofts a perfect pass to James Orvidal. He makes a nice catch in the end zone. Royals up 19-0 at halftime. Third quarter, and Kim back to work again. Watch this great one-handed grab by B.J. Murph. It's a 68-yard touchdown pass to give Hopkins a 26-0 lead. Royals go on to win big, 54-13 the final. Hopkins is now 6-2.
The Brooklyn Center football team looked to win its second game in the regular season finale as the Centaurs played host to Minneapolis Edison. And not a bad start on Edison's first play from scrimmage. Zuriel Gray is surrounded, Ramirez Sikora rips the ball free, and Jonathan Meter gets the recovery for the Centaurs. And they waste no time. On the very next play, Noah Bonds goes up top to Benjamin Wahey for the 28-yard touchdown strike. It's 7-0 Centaurs less than a minute in. Later in the first, Edison's Thomas Minima is intercepted by Lucas Bottenfield here. He returns it inside the Tommies 10-yard line. It's one of 4 first-half interceptions for BC. It sets up Wahey on the jet sweep as he goes in for the touchdown. Brooklyn Center leads 14-0 at halftime on the way to a 30-0 win. The football playoffs get started this week. 3 local teams enter the postseason with unbeaten marks. Here's a look at playoff seedings, beginning with Class 6A. First round games are Friday. Unbeaten Wayzata hosts winless Egan. Osseo travels to meet East Ridge. Maple Grove hosts Minnetonka. Totino Grace is a #1 seed. They're home to take on Forest Lake. Hopkins is at Lakeville North. And Champlin Park's also a #1 seed. They have a bye and won't play until November 1st. In Class 5A, Park Center and Cooper are in Section 5. The Pirates are the #6 seed and open at Minneapolis Southwest on Tuesday. The winner of that game faces 2nd seed Cooper in the section semifinals Saturday. Armstrong moves from Class 6A to 5A this season. The Falcons, who are 8-0, are the #1 seed in Section 6, and they won't play until Saturday when they take on the winner of St. Cloud Tech and Monticello. In Section 5, Class 4A, Benilde gets a first-round bye as the Red Knights will be home on Saturday against either Holy Angels or Orono. In 3A, Providence Academy is the number 4 seed in Section 2. The Lions face Belle Plaine in the quarterfinals. Breck is the number 1 seed in Section 4 3A. The Mustangs will be home Saturday to play Richfield or Lake City. Brooklyn Center is in Section 5 3A. The Centaurs are seeded 7th. They travel to Mora to take on the 2nd-seeded Mustangs in the quarterfinal round on Tuesday. And John, it's sure been a lot of fun throughout the regular season. We'll see what happens from here on.
We could definitely have some deep postseason runs, I think, this year. Next up in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet a football standout from Armstrong who is enjoying his final season as a linebacker for the unbeaten Gophers. The University of Minnesota football team is 7-0 for the first time since 1960. One of the leaders of the team is a senior linebacker from Plymouth who seemed destined to be a Gopher from a young age. Here's this week's Sports Jam Spotlight. University of Minnesota linebacker Thomas Barber from Plymouth is now in the final games of his college career. And 2019 has been an enjoyable season.
It's been fun, it's been enjoyable. I think one thing that that's been helping is just taking games one game at a time, going 1-0 each week, and just keep stacking up.
Thomas is the last of the Barbers to suit up in maroon and gold. He joins older brother Marion III, who played running back,
Into the end zone, touchdown.
and Dom, a defensive back, in playing for Minnesota this millennium. They all follow their father Marion Jr., who started as the Gophers running back in the late 1970s.
Barber, number 41, appears destined to become the greatest running back in Golden Gopher history.
When it came to choosing a college, the choice, in Thomas's mind, was pretty clear.
Coming here was always going to be my first choice. I tried to, play it off like not that I didn't want to come here, but I had options. But I've always said I had one offer, one official, committed here a week later.
But it hasn't always been easy. Recruited by Jerry Kill, Thomas has had to adapt to 2 head coaching changes at Minnesota.
It's been a roller coaster. From Coach Kill to Coach Clay's, it wasn't that much of a change, just him. But definitely from Clay staff to Flex staff has been a major change. But, it's been a change that we've all adapted to. And I love Coach Fleck, love the staff he's brought in. What they do for us off the field is amazing.
Barber was named the Gophers' outstanding team player as a junior and academic All-Big Ten. That part doesn't come as a surprise to his coaches.
Barber is the smartest player I've ever been. He's the most low-key guy too. He's never too high, never too low. What you love is the Mike linebacker because he's going to get us lined up. He's going to get checks, and if something needs fixed, he's going to get it.
That's an extreme compliment because Coach Rice is one of the smartest coaches I've been around. So hearing that from him is amazing, but that's not something that I take lightly. I work hard to be that smart person on the field and off the field. So definitely one aspect of my game that I need to take to the next level still. They say I'm the quarterback on the field. I for the most part, know what everyone's doing. It's the little details, and that's my job to know what everyone else is doing, so I can know when we got to make corrections on the sideline, what we got to fix, what adjustments we have to make.
While his brothers played at Wayzata High School, Thomas started Armstrong. The All-State linebacker made a lasting impression on the program.
He was a character guy. That was my first year, and so that's what we kind of started talking about early on. It had been a struggle here, and we started talking about character and leadership in the school and making people proud of this program. And I don't think it was always that way. And obviously he was a huge part of it.
I always follow the scores. Every time we're in the hotel on Fridays, I'm always looking to see their games. I saw last week they went down 14 fast, but then they came back and won. So yeah, I'm always following them, always texting Coach Nagan every once in a while, telling him what he's doing is amazing. I always try to look forward to make it out to a game. I usually make it out to a game once a year. So
the Gophers believe there are still big things ahead for them this season, and Thomas hopes the same is true for him after this year. His father and 2 brothers all played in the National Football League, something he will pursue as well. But he knows it won't be easy.
They definitely have told me how difficult it is, how hard it is, and the sacrifices you have to make. So I know what to expect when I want to make that choice to pursue the NFL, and if I get the chance, to make the most of my opportunity.
Thomas is tied for third this season on the Gophers in tackles. He already has his undergraduate degree and is working on his master's program in youth development and leadership. Jay previews the state soccer tournament next.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. It's been a great soccer season and it's state tournament week, and I am joined now by Sig Lygre, our longtime soccer analyst. And Sig, we got a few teams into the tournament this year, and let's start with the Champlin Park girls. Obviously a big thing for their program, first time in the tournament. You got a chance to call their section final with John. What do you think of their team, and what are their strengths heading into the tournament?
They had good balance, moved the ball really well. Had a little problem against Roosevelt because Roosevelt had a stacked defense against them, but they never gave up. They always pushed the ball. I think they outplayed them all the way around. They know how to get the ball back to the defensive part, switch fields nicely. I think they're going to be pretty solid going in.
Now, they've got a veteran team. There's always the talk about, you don't have that tournament experience. In your opinion, does that make much of a difference? Is that going to be something that they'll have to overcome, or not really?
It depends, but I think for most teams, for the first time in, they're so excited that it doesn't really matter.
Maple Grove girls, after a long time of knocking on the door and not being able to get in, now have been in 3 times in a row. A lot of their players were on the team that were in the tournament last year. What do you like about that club?
It's the same thing, really. They move the ball really well. If you look at their history, they always get good, solid midfield. They know how to read a defense, get the ball up to the danger area, and take your shots.
And their one matchup with Champlin Park was a tie when they did play in the regular season, too. The Maple Grove boys, I think, have been a little bit more under the radar. They even admitted that they didn't think they were playing that well for the first half of the season, but things have seemed to click pretty good for them now heading into the tournament.
Yeah, we saw them not too long ago. I could see that they were definitely changing from what they had before. They were getting more solid. They get more passing, more defense. They got a solid defender in the back with the Robinsons, and that's what's going to make a big difference.
And they're a team that's maybe kind of an underdog type of team compared to the 2 girls teams. There's a lot of strong boys teams that made it into the tournament, but the Crimson boys, on a given night, they can play with just about anybody, I think, too.
Yes, they can. And we saw a few years ago that the Crimson were the underdog going into a game that was played over in North St. Paul. And they surprised one of the top teams by coming out early and attacking.
All right, should be a great tournament on the girls and boys side in Class AA, and watch for the Rebels and the Crimson, and hopefully that they'll perform the way they did to get there in that state tournament.
Thanks, Jay. Don't forget about the Play of the Week sponsored by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. This week's 4 plays are up now on our website at ccxmedia.org. Go to the CCX Sports Play of the Week under the Sports tab and vote for your favorite play. We'll announce the winner on the October 28th edition of Sports Jam. And here's last week's winner, Champlin Park football, and the pass in the snow from Jace Miller to Brock Johnson that set up Miller's short touchdown run and the Rebels' victory over Totino Grace. The play earned 1,100 votes to win. Thanks to all of you who voted.
You're invited to the Brooklyn Park Mayor's Prayer Breakfast on Friday, November 22nd at the Marriott Northwest. Find out more at ccxmedia.org under Cities and in the Community.
Looking for local? Even more local. CCX Media connects you to your community and surrounding communities in multiple ways. CCX News connects you to your community through local stories that affect your daily life. Learn what's happening in your city, schools, and community. From top stories, sports highlights, and weekly features, CCX News offers truly local stories you won't find anywhere else. Our content can be watched at home or on the go. See all that we can do for you. Visit ccxmedia.org.
As our cities grow and change, so do their festivals. In Festival Futures, we take a closer look at what's next for the festival in the city where you live.
Our game of the week is a first-round football game in Class 6A as Maple Grove hosts Minnetonka. The game is Friday night at 7 o'clock. It'll replay Friday night at 10 here on CCX1 and ccxmedia.org. And that is all for today's show.
Busy week ahead, playoff action in many sports, and we'll have it all for you next time here on Sports Jam.